Welcome to the Merch Minds podcast, where we discuss everything about the Merch by Amazon business and the print-on-demand industry. Here are your hosts, Glen and Yong.
What is up, everybody? Glen with Hustler Hacks here with Yong.
Hey, hey.
And this is the Merch Minds podcast.
Episode 20.
20?
Is it 20? Oh my
Yong.
gosh. Yo, we're episode 20 deep, man.
So for 25th episode, what are we going to do?
We are, for our 25th episode, we are going to give away a free bottle of Coke.
Yong's going to give away 25 free Merch by Amazon designs.
Yo, man, what is this? The Price is Right? What are you talking about, man?
For the first 100
This guy.
listeners.
Man, what's going on?
That would be awesome. Nothing much. Just, doing my thing, doing some YouTube videos, doing some eBay, doing some Merch by Amazon,
Okay.
How about you?
Same, man. Same. I'm not heavily invested in eBay these days. I'm still doing it, but I'm just, it's about maybe like 10% of my side hustles.
Yeah.
But I'm still doing FBA. In fact, on FBA, I had a really big day. But I mean, I've said this 100 times. My efforts are right now just primarily just on trying to scale merch. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And before we get into the numbers, what was I gonna say? I was gonna ask you something, but
you were gonna ask me out?
No. About it in general, just how it's going over there with the weather.
Yo, man, it's gotten out of control, man. So for most of you guys that don't know, I live in San Jose, California. We've been having like 3 weeks of just crazy rain. And I mean, like there's parts of San Jose that's now flooded. Homes are underwater. I mean, you guys can go on CNN. They actually have like this drone video of all these homes and cars underwater. Fortunately, my home hasn't been affected by the weather. I had a few panels on the roof fly off here and there, but yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's been raining nonstop. We had a few days without rain, but it's been a little cold. It's been a little windy, and there's more rain in the forecast for this weekend. So, and here's the thing, man. I love the rain. And God knows that California, we desperately need the rain because we've been in a drought for years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, man, it's been crazy out here, man.
Is it tough for you to get to work or not really?
Apparently it wasn't tough enough because I still went to the office. Gosh darn it! I was hoping that the highways would be shut down, but oh well.
So you just stay at home and work on merch stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, so I'm cool. I'm still my home's safe and yeah, everything's okay.
Well, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking.
To continue this without
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the little benefits, I guess, of merch, right? Is that you don't have to go out and hustle stuff. You can stay in and hustle.
And and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to scale my merch business. I'm trying to make it grow. I'm trying to be the next Hustler Hacks, where I have those the 4, 5, 6K royalty months. So
well, it sounds like you've been catching up. Tell everybody about your numbers, how much you've been selling lately, because I know those have definitely jumped.
Yeah, man. You know what? So I know last week I had mentioned that I was able to tap into a niche, and that particular niche just blew up for me, and it's been paying off really good. So right now, just looking at my numbers, I'm logged in. It's 5 o'clock here in San Jose on Thursday. The day's not over, obviously, but right now my 7-day average is 96 products sold.
Nice.
and my estimated royalties is $664.37.
Okay.
I'm expecting that, obviously, being so early right now, I'm expecting that number to grow by the end of the night. But yeah, so like I said, I was able to tap into this niche, and it's paid off really well. And Glenn, you and I talk, on a regular basis outside of the podcast, and we were talking the other day, and one of the shirts that's my best seller at the moment, I'm doing like 2 a day, easy, every day. And I found out that I had a pixel by pixel copycat, right? So normally I would just say, forget it, I don't care, and I just move on, right? I have other shirts to do to design, but considering that this was one of my best sellers, I'm doing 2 a day, and this guy came in and undercut me by $5, and I was like, oh hell no. So I contacted Amazon, and I reported them, and I started getting these emails back from Amazon saying, sorry, we don't, and I'm guessing they were automated messages, but they were saying, sorry, we don't have enough information, we can't do anything. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that is my own personal design.
Yeah.
So I got like 3 responses from Amazon basically saying that they couldn't do anything, that I need to provide more information. And I'm like, and at this point, I'm losing my mind, right? I'm like, man, I made that design myself. Next time I do something like this, and Glenn, and this is something that I mentioned, during our phone conversation, next time I do something like that, I'm going to email them, because I have all my files on Dropbox. I'm going to email them my original files on Dropbox and say, yo, here's the original vector files that I created. Okay. Don't give me this, you don't have enough information crap. These are the original files that I made. And I'm just going to send them that link next time I get some crazy response like that. But here's the good news. When I went back a few days later, that shirt was removed. But for some reason, I was getting these messages from Amazon saying that they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But yeah. So I'm on pace to hit my 2K mark. As most of you guys know, that's been my goal for the whole month of February. I'm on pace. It's gonna be close though. It's gonna be close. I mean, we have what's today, the 22nd? We have a few more days left in the month. It's going to be close, but I'm pretty positive that I'm going to be able to meet my goal.
And I think, well, the thing is that your numbers are growing so much that now you're about, I think, halfway to where I am, because I'm end of the 7 days, I'm about like 1,500. So you're almost there then, pretty much like halfway.
Yeah,
so
and
growing rapidly.
Yeah, and the loyal listeners, they know that my goal is by the end of June, I would like to hit that 4K mark. And long as there's no restrictions by Amazon, there's no setbacks or anything, and if I continue to grow like I do, I should be able to hit that mark. We'll see.
Look at this guy, he's ready.
Yo, what's going on with you, man? What's going on with Mr. Big Time?
Well, different things are going on. First off, merch, just in general, before my numbers, it does look like some people are getting accepted in.
Okay.
And
that's good news.
I have noticed that in different Facebook groups, people are getting accepted in. So if you're already in and you can upload 2 or 3 per day, now is your time to shine and dominate and do as many work as possible, because everybody's going to start coming in. Competition is going to get tougher and tougher. If you're already in, you're already making money. Now it's time to just keep on grinding and making more money, because it's not going to get easier from here. I mean, it's good and it's bad. It's good because now we can, build up more listeners, help other people, help it grow. But for the people that maybe have been kind of struggling a little bit, but they've already been in for a couple of months and you want to, do better, now maybe might be the time, think about different strategies to grow, because you are going to have more competition, with more people coming in. So, because we haven't heard anything about any news about people getting accepted for quite a while. I mean, I think it's been since late last year, maybe
Yeah,
not even late last year, like mid last year, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
this is
been
the
a
first
while.
time. This is the first time I'm hearing that. So,
Yeah.
that's good news. And I've also been hearing that people are getting
Teared up.
upgraded. Yeah, they're getting tiered up to the next level. So that's good
Okay.
news.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, man, stop trying to avoid my question. What's going on
Oh
with you,
yeah,
man?
Sorry about that. So on my end, it's growing, but now it's kind of like slowing down a little by little. I think the last 2 or 3 days, you were kind of like, all right, it's a little slower. I told Young that it was a little slower for me yesterday, which
Hold on, man. Hey,
slower meant that.
hold on. Wait, I have to interrupt here, man. This guy. So we're talking on the phone yesterday, right? He tells me, yeah, I normally do about 30 to 35 shirts per day. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, how many sales do you have today? Oh, just 27. He was 3 off 30. The guy's talking about he's having a bad day. Man, you know what? I wish I had that problem. This guy.
I guess because I hadn't checked it. I went to bed a little early and I didn't check it, and then when I woke up, I was up to like 27. But I think when I went to bed, it was like low 20s, maybe like 16, 19. I don't even remember, honestly. Maybe it was like 19 or 20. I don't know. But it went up a little bit, so maybe it wasn't that bad of a day. But today, I think I'm at like 21, 22 sales, I think, for the day or something like that. So, but we still have time. We still have another 6 hours until this day ends. So let's see what it goes up to. But it's the same, probably like 250, 260 products sold for the last 7 days. And it's just like when you have one of those huge days that you sell a crazy amount, and then once that the 7 days ends and then that day is gone and you see your numbers kind of drop, you're like, oh man, like it's because you're like on a roll ever since that you had that huge day and you're like, oh yeah, these numbers are climbing. And then the 7 days, like, if you don't have another day that beats that one day, all the sales kind of drop down and you're like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Now I have to kind of climb back. So that's kind of where I am right now. I'm trying to climb back up there, but 250, 260. I think it's been the same for about the last week and a half. So, I need to try to get those numbers to grow at least to like a solid royalties of like 1,500 by the end of the day every day. Then it'll be the $6,000 for the month. So I think right now we're still good. I mean, it's like 55 range. Probably this month should be like 5,500 for the month or something like that. So, but I really want to get to that like 6,000 to 6,500 range, which I was at one point last year, and then just kind of go from there. But I can tell you this: I'm not afraid to admit it, but I am getting a little like crazy with,
What do you mean?
like, a little crazy with merch on what I'm gonna do as far as like t-shirt goes. As you know, that with designs, I've been playing it pretty safe as far as like text-based only, trying to crank out 40 a day, and which I had done for quite a long time. I think this week was like the first week that I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I think I did it for Monday. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, I was still able to get a decent amount. I didn't get 40 in, but I don't know. I think that if I was only doing merch, I think I might go insane. If I was only doing eBay, I might go insane. But, doing all of them does keep me like crazy busy. But I don't know. I think I might get to that point where like I need to take like a little mini break from something. I think it might have to be like YouTube and cut down a day or so, because 4 videos a week has been like, and all of this stuff, I might add,
Mm,
has been crazy. And I think I might have to cut down at least one day from YouTube so I don't have to edit and do all that stuff. Just so I can like refocus myself on eBay and merch and make sure
yeah,
those things are
yeah,
going. Because you know, like we talked about with FBA, that's not even like a thing for me right now. And when I open up the app, sometimes I get, you know, a little depressed because I'm like, you know, FBA, what happened to our glory days? You know, we were a team, we were, you know, we were so in love with each other, and we were just dominating. And now I'm like, you know, can I go back to those dominating FBA days? I don't know, because, you know, I love merch so much. But I'm like, you know, I think I can still dominate, but I don't have the time. Like I only have 24 hours in a day, like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, like all of us
yeah,
do. But I'm like, man, there's just so many opportunities. What can I do?
yeah.
What should I be doing? What
Well,
do I
first of
love
all,
doing?
well, first of all, FBA's it's changed a lot. So,
I
but
mean,
you
it
know,
has. It
yeah,
has.
it's changed a lot. But that's a topic that we shouldn't really get into, obviously, because this is a merch by Amazon
Hey,
pod
this is our
podcast.
show, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about here, Young. This is we're talking about money here, and money
Money,
needs to.
the cheddar. But yeah, man.
But
No, I
merch,
mean,
yeah, I totally agree. But with merch though, cranking out the 40 per day it really did get me tired. And I think also was because I think when we talked about it, I had all of the ideas like set, right?
hmm
I think I had, man, how many did I have? Like it was way over 1,000 ideas, like ready to go, like trademark free ideas that I had already researched and all these things. So I think when I ran out of those ideas, then I was like, man, I really need to spend like another day or 2 or 3 to come up with another set of ideas.
hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, it could be that going back to the ideas that were taken off from the 60-day rule, go back to those. Do I want to resubmit them? Do I want to redesign them? Do I want to? I got to figure out something to do with that. And
Yeah,
then, of course,
yeah.
the marketing side of it. And is that something that I want to explore, try to get into?
hmm
Could be, but I think that's what happens when you're doing a lot of things too. That would be bringing on, I think, another totally different thing that I would spend some time on, like learning and doing it correctly as far as like advertising and marketing, like for Facebook and Instagram for my shirts. But that's like a totally different beast.
Yeah. Well, I've already said, man, there's no way in hell that I can upload 40 days per shirt, man.
40 days per shirt.
Oh, is that what I said? 40 days, 40 shirts per day, man. I completely lost my damn mind. There's no way I can upload 40 shirts per day, man.
Even if they're text based.
Yo, man, there's no way, man. With my day job, with all my side hustles and me doing, dude, man, I can barely even do 4 right now. I mean, I'm able to meet my 4 uploads per day, but man, dude, man, I was telling you the other day, man, I am running out of ideas. I mean, like I mean, I'll spend like 5 hours, no joke, man. I'll spend 5 hours doing research,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll come up with barely 4 ideas.
So you mean the man, the myth, the legend is no longer one of your main ideas?
Yo, man, I'm just running out of ideas, man. So it's definitely getting hard. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I was really lucky to get into a niche that hasn't been very saturated, and I'm putting up some really good designs, because this particular shirt that I made, the one that I was telling you about, where I had a pixel by pixel copycat,
Mm-hmm.
there's like 50 other shirts with the same slogan or caption, but I spent a lot of time into my design. I made it look really nice. And so for this one particular shirt with that same caption, I'm number one in the search category. because
Yeah.
I'm selling so much every day.
Yeah.
But I'm running out of ideas, man.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder.
And maybe that's the approach maybe that's a different idea that I could do is maybe instead of doing so many, fast
Mhm.
text-based shirts, then maybe I can slow down and do 10
Yeah,
great
e-
design shirts or something.
exactly, man.
I
Dude.
mean, it's just who knows. And that's the thing though, that I kind of mentioned it a little bit before when we were talking on the phone, that I wonder if Amazon checks or cares if you're reaching these submissions. Like, what if they're like, oh man, we've given this guy, in my case, 55 new submissions per day, and this dude can only do 40. I mean, or this company can only do 40.
See, I
They
don't
can't
think
even reach the 55. So why do we even give them 55?
I don't think they would punish you for something like that. I think Amazon's smart enough to know that, and I think, in my opinion, most people that are doing merch are doing it part time. So realistically, if they expect every single person to upload, or if they're at your tier, if they're expecting them to upload whatever, what is it, 40, 50 shirts per day?
Yeah, 55.
Let's be real, man. There's no way. I mean, unless you've had those designs, 6 months ago, there's no way.
Stored.
Yeah, man, there's absolutely no way. But hey, let's get into today's
Well, hold on.
Wait, what else you got for me,
We're not
man?
even ready for this guest yet, because
What you got?
talking about the numbers growing, we didn't even talk about the last payout, which is why I wanted to talk about how it's been
Oh,
kind of
that's right.
growing for me, because last year I was good at a couple. I had 2 or 3 good months. Let me check, of 6,000 plus, I think, and it had gone up and down since then. That's why I think the numbers that I have right now, the 1,400 to 1,500 is good, because it is showing that it is kind of going back up and growing. Because in, let's see, May and June 2016, I had 2 months that were over 6,000.
Wow.
And then they went up and down. So it was like 5,500, and then 5,000, 53, and then 50. Actually in October November it did go back up to 6,200, but in January 2017 it was down to 4,400 for the month. But now looking at February, and it's been growing again, it should be 5,500 range, maybe 52 to 5,500 range. So it is growing, and then I want to see, once we do March, and then just keep growing from there and see. As long as I can see the results and see them doing better. If you want to compare it to last year during this time, it's completely different, which helps too, right? I mean, January 2016, I was like $500 for the month. January 2017, $4,400. February 2016, $987. February 2017 should be like 55 or so.
Wow.
But this month, I mean, January 2017, my payout was $4,443.18.
That was January?
That was January 2017.
I said that was January this month. That made no sense. January last month, right?
Yes, sir. Okay. How about you?
It was $1,600. Just a little under. I think I was like $40 short of 1,600.
And what were you for December?
Like 2,000 something.
Oh, because of the Q4 and all that.
Yeah.
So besides Q4, is that your highest one then? Like for January or no?
Well, December was my highest.
Yeah, but besides the Q4 months, like besides November, December. Yeah.
So then January, that will be my highest, with December excluded. But this month, which obviously we won't get paid until the end of next month, will be my highest so far. I was, with December excluded, because again, I'm on pace to do $2K in royalties.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be my highest. So
and then just higher and higher from there. So every time we're going to talk about this, payout, it's just going to get higher and higher from there for Yong.
Hey, I'm trying, just like you.
Yes, sir.
Just like you. But Yeah, so let's get into today's episode. We're going to talk about the state of American Apparel. I think most of us know that they were recently bought out by Gildan. Is it Gildan?
Yeah,
Gildan? I
Gildan.
don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know how you pronounce it. But anyway, um, American Apparel, they have a history of uh, a lot of. They just have a history of getting into a lot of trouble, primarily because of their CEO. And we have a guest. He's in our group. He read a book written by Ryan Holiday, who happens to be, or who he used to be, American Apparel's PR guy. And apparently there was a lot of uh, false advertising and smoke screens and all this and that. So yeah, so we're gonna get into American Apparel and just really have a roundtable discussion on why they failed over the years. Okay, guys, we have a special guest. His name is Daryl. Daryl, I can't. You know what? I'm not even gonna try and pronounce your last name. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people can't pronounce my last name, so it's all good. My last name is Guidry, Daryl Guidry.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
It's a southern last name, definitely.
and I didn't know this, and I'm actually upset with both of you for not telling me. You're actually from the Bay Area.
Yeah, born and raised, definitely.
Okay. So Daryl is up in Oakland, California. That's about an hour northeast of where I'm at. So we need to get together, Daryl.
Definitely.
Yeah, we definitely have to get together. I'll give you the opportunity to buy me lunch.
Perfectly. You can drop some merch knowledge on me.
Of course. So, but Daryl, if you don't mind, tell us what tier you're at. Wait, I think you said you applied, but you haven't been approved yet, right?
No, I did like the first initial sign in. I was just kind of in a rush, but I did the first kind of initial thing and they sent me the email. I didn't finish even the full setup thing, but I've just been accumulating ideas as I've been listening to the podcast. And now I'm just trying to sit down and I've got to fully just apply and go from there.
Okay. Well, I will warn you though, the process of applying is super easy.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It'll probably take you about a half a year to get approved. Unfortunately, but that's just how backed up Amazon is at the moment. And I wanted to have you on the show because on episode 13, I made a comment about American Apparel, and you were keen enough to remember what I have said, and you posted something in the Facebook group, right? And you know what? I'll let you explain. So you posted something in the group. What was that?
It was a response to your critique of American Apparel and the ads that I believe it was when you were in school. Maybe one of your professors was analyzing the risque ads that they put up, and I had recently read a book by Ryan Holiday called Secrets of a Media Manipulator or something like that. Or no, it's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. And then the tagline is Secrets of a Media Manipulator. But essentially he was the person behind a lot of those ads for Amazon. I mean, sorry, I'm thinking merch already, right? But he was behind a lot of those ads for American Apparel.
Okay. So yeah, basically in episode 13 I had made a quick comment. Basically, we're going to talk American Apparel today and why they gotten themselves into so much trouble over the years. And one of the problems was earlier back about 7-8 years ago, they had a CEO by the name of what's his name?
Dov Charney or something like that.
Dov Charney. And this guy is twisted, okay? This guy is a scumbag, man. He's done some shady stuff, okay. But one of the things that really got him into trouble was his whole advertising, his whole marketing scheme. Like Daryl said, they were pretty provocative, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think one of the ones you specifically pointed out was kind of, I think they were it looked like they were using kids in really like risque positions.
They were using underage girls and guys,
Right.
positioning them in a very risque positions. Some of the camera angles, some of the shots, it it would resemble like a porn movie and stuff like that, and it
Right.
got them into a lot of trouble. And and they've had some other problems throughout the years, but yeah. So we're gonna talk about American Apparel. And first of all, Daryl, you don't work for American Apparel. You have no association with American Apparel. I just invited you on the show because you read the book,
Right.
and I haven't. So I just wanted to know what the book said. And this is just going to be this is going to be just a not really a debate, but just a roundtable discussion, pretty much on why American Apparel failed and what the book says. But as I was saying, they've gotten they got themselves into a lot of trouble over the years, because of the ads. You can look it up. It's you can find it on the internet.
Right.
A lot of those ads exist, of course, on the internet. But I'm curious. So, what was the author's name again?
Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday. So what was his whole what was his
angle?
Angle and like, was he saying that it was all fake or something?
Well, yeah, he's essentially, he was fake news before fake news was popular, pretty much.
So explain. I mean, because I'm a little confused now.
So with a lot of the ads and things that he did at American Apparel, he was like, there was a bunch of copyrighted material that he couldn't actually use. Where they were doing like a whole costume thing. He talked about that, where they obviously shot these images, but they couldn't use them. So then he would have his assistant, or sometimes he would pretend to be his own assistant, and he would leak these to a Jezebel, a Gawker, or something like that. And then these things would be like, oh, we got these exclusive pictures behind the scenes from American Apparel or whatever. Including the risque images and things like that. Like, he would just use outrage, or he would use kind of people's just these tantalized and sensationalized things. He would use them in order to get other media sources to cover it. So then it's free publicity, essentially.
Okay, so what you're saying then is, it sounds to me like this guy Ryan Holiday is claiming that he had taken these pictures for American Apparel, but he never released them. But then on purpose, he pretended like he was someone else and then released them to the public, correct?
Right. He would leak them, like, essentially on his own, and in order to get free publicity and free coverage and brand awareness.
Mm-hmm. See, and this is why I think, and again, I never read the book. I've never even heard of the guy up until I read your post. And this is why I think this is all a lie, because even if those pictures were leaked, as he says, I mean, it could be true, I don't know.
Right. But
the fact that American Apparel still made a bunch of those photos into the ads and released it to the public, that's what got them into a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, but I don't think they were official ads, and that's the thing. Like, there were some things he said, like, he would post it online even knowing that it would violate the terms and conditions and be taken down in a couple minutes, but just for the sheer outrage that it would generate and the brand awareness it would generate, he felt like it was worth it. Now whether the people in the images were actually underage, and like that part I don't know, but I know I saw some of the ads and they looked underage. I know that much. And I could definitely get kind of how people would be mad at that, but he definitely manipulated that and used it to his advantage.
Interesting. Glenn, any thoughts or comments?
Well, I was just kind of doing, I guess, a little bit, a research on the company in general and seeing how, things they did. They even won, I guess, a couple of like marketing awards or design awards or something, I guess, for their work. At one point, I don't know what year it was, but I thought that was kind of crazy, and especially the different, I guess, more than anything, like the poses they just had them in. Like it was, I know what they wanted to do was I guess try to show normalized people in different. You can see their blemishes, and they didn't want to do like fake photoshopped airbrush type of stuff. They wanted to seem kind of, I guess, I don't know what word I would probably say, but
it was a shock value, right?
yeah, and I guess
a
totally
lot of these
different
photos
than,
were very raw, right?
yeah.
And but so that's really interesting, Daryl, because so he's saying now, is he claiming that those pictures then that he took were from his personal collection?
Essentially, those pictures are not actual ads, yeah, because they never really made it out to print. It was just leaked to the public, and they just made it to the digital realm in order to kind of trump up the attention. I mean, he talks about another Tucker Max, who did like a book and a movie. I can't even remember what it is. I think it was I hope they serve beer in hell or something. I've never even heard of it or watched it. I've only known of it from the book. But yeah, Tucker Max, like his whole thing was based off of the outrage. Like they would, like he was on this book tour or movie tour, and he would go and like put up an ad, and then they would vandalize the ad and then promote that the ad was vandalized, like to the media, so that the media would cover it.
Interesting.
Right.
Well, because I mean, if Ryan Holiday is claiming that those pictures that he leaked on purpose by pretending to be someone else were from his own personal collection, which again I don't know. I mean, I haven't read the book. Well, then that's kind of making him look bad, because then he's saying, well, I took photos of underage kids, you know, in a very provocative way, and it's making him look bad, right? So,
well,
again,
he's not the photographer, so he didn't actually take the pictures. That, I mean, I don't know that part. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. But going back to American Apparel, yeah. So over the years, they've gotten themselves into a lot of trouble. I've obviously mentioned the ads.
Right.
So they have a history of, like Glen was saying, you know, they try to make it as raw as possible. You know, no Photoshop. You know, they want to make it as realistic as possible. The problem was, you know, like I was saying, they would use underage models. Sometimes there was nudity. Believe it or not, there is some nudity in some of those ads. And he would also ask his employees to be part of some of the ads, and the employees. And this is where I disagree. Some of his employees felt that they had to give in, because they felt like if they didn't cooperate and do the ads, that their jobs would be on the line. And I disagree with that part, because, you know, as a working man myself, if my boss was to ever ask me to do something that I wasn't comfortable with, I would just tell them outright, no, I don't want to do it. Okay, you got to speak up for yourself, whether or not your job is on the line. But you know, yeah, I mean, the guys, Dov Charney, you know, he had some sexual harassment charges against him, and to this day, I don't know if those charges were ever taken to court.
Well, all of them have been dismissed.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. And you know, he had a reputation of hiring employees just based on their looks. Okay. Again, this is the kind of CEO that we're talking about. He's no longer the CEO of American Apparel. He was ousted about 2 or 3 years ago. But ever since then, American Apparel just had a bunch of issues. I mean, I know they filed for their first bankruptcy several years ago. You know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I don't remember. And they recently, as I think I think it's fair to say that most of us know they filed for their second bankruptcy, and they are now no longer American Apparel. I guess it's fair to say that they're now the Canadian Apparel, right? Because we all know that Gildan, which is a Canadian company, bought him out. So they had a history of just a lot of issues throughout the company, starting from the CEO all the way down to their marketing, and it was just a mess. And Glenn, any comments?
Well, do you guys think that, I guess it's a question for both of you, do you think that it is weird, or, I mean, we know how Amazon is as far as like just using straight up cuss words on your merch shirts. Do you think it's weird that they would still, I don't know, like promote and have American Apparel t-shirts as part of their Merch by Amazon program, knowing the whole background of American Apparel? Or do you think it doesn't even matter as long as they're making money?
Glenn, I'm sorry, Daryl, you want to answer that question first?
Yeah, I'll say, particularly for me, I don't necessarily look for businesses to provide, moral guidance. So, I mean, because really business is business. I mean, it's great when they do and they're like, oh, I won't work with this company because of these specific moral reasons. But I mean, if they don't, it's not like I expect them to, because I know really they have their bottom lines and whatnot. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it would be great if any company, does not align themselves with a company that's doing, immoral things, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And so my answer to that is, well, Amazon actually had an opportunity to buy American Apparel, and to this day, I'm very surprised that they didn't win that bid.
Yeah.
A big of a powerhouse that Amazon is,
right?
That they couldn't win that bid, because we all know that they're having capacity issues, and for them to have, at least in my opinion, okay, I'm not no business guru, I don't have a business background, but for them to actually own and run American Apparel under their Merch by Amazon umbrella, well, that would have been huge.
Right, but how long ago?
And then once they're under that umbrella, they can clean up the whole company. Okay, I mean, you're no longer under Dov Charney's regime. So I mean, they could have cleaned up that whole operation. I'm sorry, but Daryl, you were gonna say what?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, how long ago was this when they were thinking about when they had the opportunity to buy them?
It was about a month or two ago.
Yeah, it was last month. Yeah, it was last month. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Gildan ended up buying them out.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't want to pay that much for them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they might have felt that maybe the investment maybe wasn't worth as much as Gildan bought them for, which is what? Let me see, at 88 million in the auction.
Oh yeah, see. Yeah, they may have been like, hey, we could build it. We just need the shirts. Really, we can build it on our own for less than that.
Well, I know Amazon bought out Woot, WOOT. Up until I read about that, I've never even heard of Woot. But I mean, just like I said, just in my opinion, for them to have them, meaning Amazon, to have and operate American Apparel under their umbrella, I thought that would have been a huge collaboration or merger, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, so that's primarily one of the main issues why American Apparel had gotten themselves into so much trouble. Now, what's next for American Apparel? We don't know. Gildan hasn't come out and said anything. We do know that all of the USA stores are shutting down by April, I believe. So, and actually, if just a quick side note for those of you guys that are doing retail arbitrage, this might be a good opportunity to do some retail arbitrage. Okay,
clean up.
Yeah, no, I think last I heard they're currently at 40% off. So this might be a good opportunity to do some retail arbitrage. But I believe all the stores are shutting down by April here in the U.S. And gosh, what's that company? Printful, geez. Printful, I get emails from them because I'm currently working on my Shopify store. I'm constantly getting emails from them saying that, we no longer have American Apparel in stock. So, whatever store that you're building, use these alternative apparels. So we have no idea what Gildan is going to do. But this was a topic that I just thought would be fun to discuss with Daryl, obviously, having read that book. Did that book say anything else about American Apparel and what kind of marketing tactics that they used?
No, not really. It just made it seem like they were both scumbags, pretty much. But for me, it was just so eye-opening to the way the media works in general, and how he would, kind of just trade it up the chain and work with smaller publications in order to try and get it to a larger publication, in order to get it to a larger audience. It's almost just getting that free publicity. And actually, I read a post about him recently in the Observer, talking about basically that I can't think of the guy from the alt-right, Milo something, is essentially doing the same thing. So it's like, when you have the media putting all this information out about your brand, it's to a ton of people, but there's going to be some people, maybe, maybe 90% of the people, 80% of the people are going to be outraged by what you're doing, but those 20% is going to be their target audience. Mm-hmm. So actually, it was just like niching down right now. It's like the black hat version of niching down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's finding your target group.
It totally makes sense, right? I mean, Glenn, I don't know, when you were taking classes at the university, did you have to take any advertising classes for your major?
No, for my minor, I was a communication minor, so I took just different stuff about, communication, like the workplace, and some marketing, but not a lot.
Okay, because Daryl, so both Glenn and I, we have a graphic design degree. So the program at San Jose State, they make you take at least like 3 or 4 advertising classes. And just to back up what you said, Daryl, bad publication, even though it's bad, sometimes it does work miracles for a company. Oh, those guys are scumbags. They're selling stuff that's just useless. But the more people talk about it, the more they're going to know about you, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean that's how marketing works. I mean, and I think at some point we can say a lot of these ads and marketing techniques, they're all lies in a way, right?
Right.
I mean, you watch all these beer commercials, right? And you got these guys, with rock hard abs, and they're running in slow motion on the beach and stuff, and you're like, yo, man, I drink a 6-pack and I ain't never looked like that.
Right. Right? Every image is photoshopped. Yeah, absolutely.
So interesting, man. So interesting, Glenn.
Back to their like whole business stuff. I just think that, I don't know, the weirdest thing that I read about it is the fact that they had not made a profit since 2009. Apparently, I mean, they've gone bankrupt at least 2 or 3 times.
Right.
That many times? I thought they went bankrupt just once. Wow,
no, they've gone more than once. But to not make any profit since 2009, how does the business still? I don't know. Like, how do they manage? How do they keep going? I guess who do they pay? If you have CEO and whoever you're, all that stuff. I mean, you got to pay employees and everything. But
you know how that works, right? I mean, whenever a company like that always cuts back, right? It's always the little guys, right? You close a few stores. If that doesn't work, you close a few more. If that doesn't work, you lay people off here and there. And at some point, that's when the big guys get shut down, right? And that's what's happening now. Is they've apparently, according to Glenn, I thought they only been bankrupt just one at a time. Apparently, they've been bankrupt a few times now, and it's gotten to the point where the whole company had to shut down, and and they're now technically known as the Canadian Apparel.
Well, I was looking at their site, and like Gildan has American Apparel coming back stronger than ever.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah, that's what this says. I guess talking to their, like, this webpage is really just talking about in wholesale in general, just telling their customers to just stay patient. They're happy, or they thank them for their loyalty and everything to American Apparel, but to just wait to see until everything just gets, transitioned after, this whole buyout by Gildan. But they do promise American Apparel will be coming back stronger than ever.
Okay, so now is this on American Apparel's website or Gildan, or is it both?
It's on American Apparel's site.
Okay, interesting.
And I would hope that would be true, because on the flip side, if American Apparel goes under, then Amazon or somebody would have to still supply that fit. Because I know there are some people who like that fit of American Apparel shirts.
Yeah,
so,
I personally don't like that fit. It's, in my opinion, I think it's more for the skinnier guys. I think,
right.
someone like a Glen Zubia would look really good in an American Apparel shirt.
I actually didn't even. They're very like thin. You have to have like a good athletic muscle build. And
how many do you have? How many do you have?
now that I'm getting older, this is it's not working out. And I just got married, so it's just pretty much gonna go downhill from here.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
It's anytime soon.
But yeah, cool, man. Well, hey guys, that was a good conversation. Daryl, remind us again, what's that book called in case the listeners are interested in reading it?
It's Trust Me, I'm Lying. And then the tagline is either Secrets of a Media Manipulator or Confessions of a Media Manipulator. Trust Me, I'm Lying, Confessions of a Media Manipulator.
And the guy's name again is?
Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday, and I'll have all that in the show notes. Daryl, in case people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
You can find me on social media at Great Brilliance, mostly on Instagram and Twitter at Great Brilliance. And if you don't want to support the book, if you don't want to buy it, you can always get it from the library. That's how I got it.
Right. Get it from the library. And Daryl, we have to get together again. I didn't realize you were here in the Bay Area, man. Hey, did you stay safe throughout the whole storm we've been having?
You know what? I just got back from Miami 2 days ago, so I missed it.
Vacation?
Yeah. My wife and I went down to Miami, and it sucks because the kids were still here, so they had to suffer through it with the grandparents, but we were in Miami.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we basically been suffering from like 3 weeks of rain nonstop, and in fact, parts of San Jose are now officially flooded. I mean, the homes are just devastated. So glad to hear that you're okay and that your family's okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Likewise, man. Stay dry out there.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Definitely enjoyed it, man. I'll keep listening and keep learning a lot from you guys. And I got to go finish that signing up for merch so I can, do the waiting period. Now, a quick question. Will going through Shopify allow me to circumvent the waiting period?
From my understanding, I haven't actually gone through that whole process yet myself, but I think when you have your apparel on Shopify, it will show up on Amazon, but it won't be under the whole merch platform.
Yeah,
it'll be independent of itself.
Okay.
So, and that's something that you and I can talk about, man. I'm learning as I go myself, so that's something that you and I can brainstorm and talk about over some cold beers.
Sweet. Sounds like a winner.
All right, my man.
All right.
Awesome interview with Daryl. Thank you so much for being on the episode. Before we go, as always, we like to mention, please go on iTunes and leave us a review. We love to hear your comments, what we can do to make ourselves better. Glenn and I, we spend couple of hours a day, doing these podcasts for you guys, and we try to make them educational. So let us know. Glenn, any closing thoughts, comments?
If you want to contact me, you can contact me, hustlerhacks1 at gmail.com. You can also join the Merch Minds Facebook group, and you can talk to me, Yong, and a couple of other merch-minded people that are making money on the platform right now.
That's right. And I did, I remember last year, I had mentioned a few times that I was working on my own personal website. And, that along with all my other projects, because I'm trying to balance everything at once. It was never finished, but I finally decided to launch my website as of today. It's still not done, but you know what? I have tons of content on there that I want to share with people. And at this point, if I don't share it, it's never going to get shared. So even though the website's not done, I do want to launch my website, geekhustle.com. Okay,
Geek Hustle.
Geek, Geek, hustle.com. There's a whole story behind the domain, which I'll get into some other time. But yeah, you guys can go there, check out my website, get on the newsletter, and I know there's a tons of websites out there that talks about merch. If you sign up for my newsletter, I'm going to talk particularly about design, how you can make your design better. So get on that newsletter, and like Glenn said, join the Facebook group. We have tons of fun in there. There's a lot of good people. And Glenn, I'll put yours and mine email address in the show notes. And other than that, thanks, guys. As always, we'd love to hear from you. So drop us a note. Glenn, I will see you next week, my friend.
Sounds good. And we'll see you next episode number 21.
Nice.